Thank you so much. I really appreciate the efforts of these two students who have so patiently introduced all of us. And I'm really fortunate to be chairing the session. Can I just do this? I'm really fortunate to be chairing the session where we have such academic and industry luminaries and the kind of work that they have done in their own respective fields. So very good afternoon to everyone present here. The panel discussion, which is about education for sustainable development, I think this is something which is being the talk of the world right now and a very, very serious concerning issue to be addressing. And I must congratulate Professor Bholanath Datta, who always brings out such current topics to the forefront of the education and industry sector for debate, for discussion, and the kind of for developing the action plan. So esteemed panel members, Dr. Prasad Rao, Dr. Prasad Raju, Dr. Muzazzam Hussain, Dr. A. Suryanarayanan, Dr. Shah Alam, and Ms. Zakia Sultana. A very warm welcome to all of you to the panel discussion. Before we begin, where we will listen to the wonderful thoughts of all the panel members, little light that I would like to throw based on my understanding and research that I have done on this topic. So when I was kind of reading about that, how is it we have reached to this concept of sustainability, right? So I was just kind of going back to the history that how is it the entire revolution has started, how we have become what we are today, right? So you might have heard, and many of us would have witnessed those industry revolutions starting from Industry 1.0, right? So today we say we are in an era of Industry 4.0 and on the verge of Industry 5.0. So let's go back to Industry 1.0, which was a era of coal, where the coal was kind of discovered for purposes, for various usages, for the development of the humankind, right? And that is where the steam engine was invented. Then from Industry 1.0, it became the era of Industry 2.0, where the electricity came to the use, right? And the, something like, the telegraph, telephone, electric wires is what you saw happening. And that actually brought the world to a, pretty speed. And then came the era of Industry 3.0, where we had electronics and nuclear revolution taking place, right? And that was happening somewhere in the year 1969. And then we come to Industry 4.0, which is about internet and renewable energy. Now, passing through these four industry eras, industry revolutions, we have come to the door of Industry 5.0. So every revolution has resulted into something. There has been best of the things which have happened, but there have been concerned things which are also going on side by side. Not that people have not paid attention to it, but whether the right efforts have gone into direction by the enough number of people, I think that is what we are going to discuss today. So the Industry 5.0, which is at the doors and which is today about sustainability, the human-centeredness, and we are talking about the generation of AI, IoT, right? Data science. So this is going to be the world going forward, Industry 5.0. And I want to connect now here the person whom I really admire for being sustainable, because I think Dr. Subhash Sharma sir mentioned it starts from self. Can you start practicing self-sustainability in everything that you do? Right? So one such person who comes to my mind, and I have seen him doing this, is Professor Bholanath Datta. Just for a very small example, today when you see the e-release of his book, right? And the way he has brought out the cover page to you, what is it, he's trying to teach all of you, or trying to, send the message to all of you, is of that let's be very cautious and careful in using the resources, right? We have abundance, we being in India, we have abundance of resources, be it human or be it anything that we need to sustain our lives. But are we wise enough to use these resources? Is a very, very great question mark. Are we all wise enough to use these resources wisely? Is another question mark, right? So my hearty congratulations to Professor Bholanath Datta to bring up this entire, luminaries, thought leaders together. And before I move on to today's panel discussion, I just want to pay my regards, on this occasion to Professor Dr. Subhash Sharma sir, who I have always respected, admired for his thought leadership in the area of management, spirituality. I've been kind of seeing him for last 20 years, and his thoughts are always adding great value to all of us and to the entire humankind. I think he's one such person in the entire India who has always been focused on bringing the spiritual leadership to the forefront of management fraternity and management education. Thank you so much, sir, and high regards to you. So couple of few minutes and then let's start the panel discussion and hear the thoughts of our all the great panelists, esteemed panelists sitting over here. So today I stand here before you to discuss on the topic education for sustainable development, right? So our world is at very crucial junction. All of us are aware of this, and all of us always fall upon one very, very basic rights for everyone, that is education, right? Because education starts from those days of bringing up a child. So if we are able to ingrain the seeds of sustainability from the pre-primary level of education, I think a great of the concerns will be solved, right? So when we say sustainable or sustainability, what exactly are we trying to talk about? So I came across this very nice few words here. Sustainable development is a pathway to ensure that the needs of the present generation are met without compromising. Please mark these words. Needs of present generation are met without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs, right? So you can say, means you are the one to be blamed, right? Because you have misused the resources to such an extent that now you are talking about sustainability. I do not know really, because all of us tried our best, given the environment that we grew up, given the knowledge that we grew up, and given the skills and perspectives that we have developed. But yes, we have realized that sustainability is going to be a very, very big concern, be it in terms of environment, be in terms of climate, be in terms of the basic rights, be in terms of education, be in terms of poverty, right? Everything has to be dealt with. And I'm sure the kind of discussion you all are going through, we all are going through, we should be able to come out with that enthusiasm, with that action plan, with that perspective, which should help all of us to be more and more sustainable and improve the surroundings that we are living in. So education is really a powerful tool. And I kind of remember Nelson Mandela's words over here, where he has said, education is the most potent weapon we have to change the world. And all the education sitting here, all of us sitting here should agree that what he said is true. And education is the only way to bring in the changes that right now we are all discussing about. So what does this education give? I was having discussion with one of the thought leaders, I'm not able to recall right now, but then what he said, education is not about just getting your degrees, right? Education is about, can you start thinking in the right direction, a progressive direction for yourself? Can you create that success, that positivity, that people orientation around you? So are you gaining all these things when you are getting educated? Be it any class, be it any degree for that matter. So awareness and understanding is very, very important outcome of the education. And if that is not happening, I think we are not doing the right justice with the education that we are taking. The second thing is, which is very, very important today, from UGC to AICT to NEP, everybody talks about it today, is critical thinking, right? So when you're learning, are you thinking? Are you analyzing the things that you are studying critically? Are you applying them and understanding how critical they are for anything to survive and be successful, right? Third thing is innovation, right? Innovation is think of, okay, you have to do something completely out of box. May not necessary. Can you do some jigging into your existing processes and still improve? Reduce the wastages, right? If there are companies like Toyota who are so famous for their entire supply chain process, for what reason? Because they have streamlined their process in such a manner that they are able to offer their very, very highly quality, innovative product to the customer at a very, very reasonable pricing, right? And then we talk about responsible citizenship, and people today refer to as a global citizenship as well. So with this education that we are getting, are we becoming responsible? I think one of the sir was mentioning about, I think Dr. Vinay was mentioning about, we are traveling to cities. The Swachh Bharat was implemented so many years back. Are we really becoming Swachh? Externally, internally, both ways, right? Big concerns, the big question marks in front of all of us, the way we do things. So are we responsible enough to our own, to ourselves, to our parents, to our society, to our country, and to the entire world, right? So these are the thoughts to ponder about. And there are many other things, so I'll just come to one last part of the education, is experiential learning, right? I'm sure all the teachers, faculty members are trying their best to give you that learning, but then we can take horse to the pond, right? But how involved are you in getting yourself that experiential learning is very, very important. How is it you are going beyond your classroom studies, upskilling yourself, to keeping yourself staying relevant to what's going to happen in future, the way things are changing in future. So given these things, I have a lot of questions for the panel members, given the time we have, otherwise I'll ask them offline. So given this, my conclusion is education for sustainable development is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And we are fortunate here today to have such a vibrant summit going on this topic, education for sustainable development, crafted, curated by Professor Bholanath Datta. So my hearty congratulations to you, sir, and thank you so much. And my highest regards to Professor Shubhendu Dey, the director of IBA, for creating and organizing this summit. And let's hear from our panelists one by one. And I take immense pleasure in inviting our esteemed panel member, Dr. Prasad Raju, sir. So over to you, and we're waiting to hear from you.